Alright guys, Troy Francis here, and you find me once again down and out in Berlin, where I'm hanging out for a few days, got a lot of work on, just crazy busy at the moment. But I wanted to come on here and do a shorter one today, basically to talk about the vexed issue of whether the dating marketplace is entirely screwed, or if it's your fault. Okay, so is it your fault, or is it just that things are completely screwed? And I think online, people are veering towards the latter conclusion. I think if you look at any commentary online, if you look at Twitter, if you look at the comment section under many videos, probably this one included, if you look on Reddit, if you look at where people congregate to talk about these kinds of things, men and also women as well, most people are going to come to the conclusion that, look, the dating scene today is completely screwed. Why is that? Well, it's because the dating apps, where, you know, girls are swiping past 80% of the guys and only the lucky top 20%, or is it top 10%, or even the top 5% are getting picked. Or things like Instagram, where people are showcasing their beauty and their supernaturally amazing abs and all the rest of it, and it means that the average dude is getting shut out of the marketplace. Or a combination thereof, right? You know, and we all know this stuff. We bang on about this the whole damn time. Social media, dating apps, in combination, have made the dating scene more difficult for the average guy in the street. Okay, but, and this is the thing, it's very easy to just harp on about that particular strand of thinking. Okay, it's very easy to make that the entire focus of your life, and you can sit around online complaining for years and years and years about that set of circumstances, which, look, no one's pretending it's anything other than suboptimal for the most part for the average dude in the street. Okay, it's not as straightforward as it once was. I mean, as I always say, I don't think there was ever this golden period when dating was easy, when you could just rock up and be a complete slob and you were gonna, you know, luck out in the dating market. I don't think it was ever quite like that. There was always, well, certainly in my lifetime, and I mean, I've been on the planet for far too long now, really, but there was always competition. There was always a hierarchy. There were always guys who were at the top of that hierarchy, and then guys who were lower down, and the guys who were lower down obviously were going to get less good results than the guys who were at the top, and the only way to circumnavigate that issue was self-improvement. So if a guy, you know, got himself into great shape, or maybe made a load of money, or had generated some kind of social status around himself by becoming notable in society, or even famous or whatever, then he would transcend. But for the most part, if guys didn't transcend, then they would be trapped under a glass ceiling, which is the same as today, right? It hasn't changed enormously. It's just that the technology has facilitated and probably amplified some of these things more. And it's given certainly women, and also, you know, the top percentile guys, but it's given women more options that they didn't have before, and more ability to engage with the dating marketplace en masse, if you like, you know, and just you know, to date with guys outside her immediate area, whatever. Okay, so it's introduced more competition for sure, but the fundamental dynamics are the same. Okay, there was always that competition, etc. So for the guy today who's watching videos like this, or watching videos from other channels where people are talking about this stuff, and he's sitting there and he's going, God damn it, things are just so unfair. Like, the dating marketplace is just so screwed now. What am I going to do? Why wasn't I born in 1950 and all of that? Can he honestly, hand on heart, say that it's entirely the fault of these social dynamics that are beyond his control? My answer to that is no. And the reason I say that is because I work in coaching guys. So I help guys out, right? I work with a number of face-to-face clients every year, or, well, you know, every month, but a fairly small number of face-to-face clients. And I work with a lot more clients virtually, online, via online courses or online coaching, okay? So I get to see a lot of guys who are coming at this from a place of lack of abundance, for want of a better turn of phrase, okay? And often, in fact almost always, those guys are doing things wrong, okay? Or at least they're not presenting themselves optimally in the dating marketplace, okay? And that is a huge factor to why they're not getting the results that they want. Okay, now, fortunately, because they've hired me and we work together, I can help them to straighten that stuff out and they can go on to improve their results. Great. But I'm willing to bet that a large percentage of the guys that you'll see in the comment sections on videos and the doomer narrative and everything else, I'm happy to bet that a large percentage of those guys are also presenting themselves suboptimally in the dating marketplace. But they just haven't had anybody point it out to them. They haven't had mentorship. They haven't looked at it. They haven't worked on self-improvement. They've just plonked themselves out there, probably asked a couple of girls out, got rejected, and then they're online spreading around the narrative that it's all, oh, woe is me, and it's completely unfair, and there's no way that anybody is ever going to get results unless they're 7'5" and they're a complete Chad. Okay? And it's simply not true. It's simply not true, but this is the narrative that's being put around. And the problem is, when you are in an echo chamber of people promulgating this narrative, particularly anons, right? Because a lot of people, obviously, they're anonymous online, they're hiding behind an avatar, whatever. You can't gauge the amount of effort that they've put into their social skills or to their social life, okay? You can't gauge it. It's impossible to know. All right. I mean, they might tell you, but how do you know if they're telling the truth or whatever? You can't know definitively. My sense, and I know this, as I say, from having coached hundreds, if not thousands of guys, certainly including the online coaching, and be evaluating very carefully where they're coming from in terms of the way that they're approaching dating. As I say, I can tell you that a lot of them are doing very, very simple things incorrectly. They're not presenting themselves in the best manner, and that can come down to looks, that can come down to fitness, grooming, haircut, all of that kind of stuff, and also the way, what they're talking about, the way that they talk, the way that they engage with the women that they seek to date, okay? The proximity that they have with the women that they're trying to entertain to date. All of these little things, these little nuances that are very, very easy to point out, but very, very easy, unless you know what you're doing, unless you know what to look for, so easy to get this stuff very, very wrong, okay? And you can keep getting it wrong for years and keep underselling yourself in the market and keep getting suboptimal results, okay? So I think that there's a couple of dynamics here. I think on the one hand, yes, there are real changes that have happened societally, largely because of technology, largely because of social media, and that has made a difference. But I also think that a lot of guys are not nice about it, but a lot of guys are a bit clueless, okay? And they're coming at this in the wrong way because they've never had the right training, they've never really thought about it, and if they have thought about it, they haven't come to the right conclusions, okay? So I think there's a couple of things going on here, and I suspect in a lot of cases, if the guy put a bit of effort in and he improved himself, he would be getting better results, okay? Never mind, the fact of whatever's happening on Tinder or whatever's happening on Instagram, okay? So that's my feeling about this. As I say, this is somewhat anecdotal. I don't have hard data backing this up, but I do speak as somebody who, as part of my work, I will engage with a lot of guys and try to help them with this stuff, and I'll look at what they're doing, and it's very, very obvious. You can look at it and you go, that's just, you're presenting yourself wrongly, bro. There's things you can improve now. There's things you can improve today. And if you improve them, and they're very simple, you will be getting better results, okay? So something to think about there. Try not to get too caught up in a downward spiral of doomerism, and try to think, without taking it all on yourself, because, this isn't about self-flagellation either. It's not about, oh, why am I so terrible? Why am I, what have I done wrong? But look at yourself honestly and objectively and think, okay, so what is it that could be improved? And we all need to improve. We should all be improving in every element of ourselves every day to the best of our ability, okay? Now, if you're interested in working with me on this stuff, I have a very special announcement, which is that CAD Academy, Charisma and Dating Academy, my course on all of this stuff, which takes you from zero to hero in terms of dating, is opening again for new enrollments at the end of this month, okay? It's going to be a fairly low-priced course, okay, because I want to open this up to as many people as possible. So you're going to have 5 days at the end of March, 29th of March, I think, until the 2nd of April, to enroll on the course. Then you get access to the program, which is a pre-recorded video course, okay? And you'll have access to all of the modules and all of the previous material in there. There's a whole treasure trove of stuff in there. And then in the first week or so of April, we will be running a series of live webinars with myself, with other experts from the field, and we're going to be doing live training on those webinars. Okay, there's going to be a series of webinars over a week that are going to be led by me. As I say, I'm going to bring some other dudes in as well to teach you some different things that you're going to find very, very useful. So if you have always thought about getting this side of your life sorted out and you haven't taken action yet, and you're aware that spring is around the corner, you know, we're starting to see the darling buds breaking out now across Europe anyway, and you want to get this sorted out before we get into spring and then summer, which you absolutely should, then Charisma and Dating Academy is for you. All you need to do to express your interest is to get on my email list. There will be a link for that below, so make sure you do that, and I'll see you on the inside. But yeah, self-improvement, guys, you know, I mean, there's no easy way around it, but it is a lot of fun and it is very rewarding. So think about it, okay? And let me know what you think about this subject. Put your comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Charisma and Dating Academy, 29th of March to the 2nd of April will be opening for new enrollments. See you on the inside. Bye-bye.